communicate with me. You can unmute yourself and ask any questions during the class. It's always beneficial. I love questions, so don't worry. If you interrupt me, let me know. Another option, you can type it in the chat and I will reply as soon as I see it. So I check the chat quite constantly. So today, welcome to the class. My name is Anna Romanenko. I'm Russian. Was born and raised in Russia, in Siberia, moved to US, Washington State, about almost 19 years ago. In August will be exactly 19 years. So this is my home and this is my way to thank US community to teach them something that I brought from Russia. So I'm a healer. I practice energetic methods and I teach people how to use those energies to heal themselves and groups. And I am certified instructor, Neurographica instructor. I'm certified Kalami instructor. I'm a certified facilitator for family constellations, and I try to combine all of these things in one. I'm wood carver. I'm artist. I write poetry. So I teach constantly. So there is so many things that I'm doing right now. So I would love to hear where you're from, so which place on earth you are right now. So if you can just say it out loud or type in chat, it would be, I think it would be very interesting for everyone.
This computer is so much.
One more time, please. Okay. So again, like right now, I will mute everyone, so there is no sound on the background, but you can unmute yourself if you want to say something, because I just want to say that there is no problem if you want to say something. Okay, so we have more and more people today, so welcome. Good. Nice to see you, Debra. So I would love to see more and more people coming back to this class. It really gives me confirmation that it was useful. so we have India, we have Seattle, we have, I believe, Emirates we have, and so wherever you're from, so please let me know. So it's always interesting where your location is right now. So today we have 2 hours class. It will be a lot to cover because I want to give you not just theory, I want you to practice something, experience it. So the schedule of the class is at the beginning, after the introduction, I will give you some theory and some, we will learn some basic elements that needs to be learned in Neurographica. We will do the practice, like the whole, I hope we will have the whole hour for practicing. And at the end, I encourage you to share your drawings and see what is your drawing is telling about yourself. Hello, Derek. I will mute you, so please don't feel it happen. So this is the plan. I hope it will work for everyone. So right now the class is, there is a live stream and it will be recorded so you can see it and watch it later on YouTube and share with everyone who wants to be introduced to Neurographica. So Neurographica, what does it mean? It has 2 Latin roots, neuro, maybe I pronounce it wrong, but neuro and graphica. Neuro, what is going on in our mind? Graphica, how we can express it with simple graphical shapes and lines, and how we can transform it in a positive way. So we have always so much going on in our mind, so how we can change it, how we can affect going on in our lives, how we can create our positive reality. So this is the meaning of the word. It was developed by Russian psychologist Pavel Piskarev 6 years ago, and it's a very fast growing community right now. I believe it's over 40 countries now introduced to Neurographica. Maybe not in a wide range, but there is always somebody somewhere knows about Neurographica. And my mission is to introduce it and make it more used in English-speaking community. So we have students all over the world, and I'm happy to see more and more people involved in it. So 6 years only. It's not just positive drawing. It's not just making you feel better after the drawing, as many art techniques are offering you. This is really based on a lot of psychological models, and there is a lot of science behind it. Neurographica recognized as a scientific subject, and we not just changing our emotion, but we really learn how to set up our goals, recognize our resources, how to learn time management, how to learn relationships, communication. So there is a lot to learn. Like it took me 9 months in very intense training to become instructor. So it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to teach. So I hope you will have just a glimpse of it today. So let's see. I will talk a little bit more, but let's start drawing. So I will switch my camera and we will start. Okay, so Neurographica. So the one of the main element and different element from any other art techniques is called a neuroline. A neuroline is such a line that does not repeat itself on any segments of its way and goes wherever you don't expect it. So you can just try. So it's very organic. It's like a root or a river or branch. So there is always somewhere goes this line. So the very important to not repeat itself. So it's not a sinusoid. It's not any other pattern, because we, like Einstein said, like it would be if we repeat the same steps over and over and expect that there will be a different result, this is what's called insanity. So we want to avoid insanity and use some different strategies, different not even patterns is something repeated, so different methods to resolve different targets, like to reach different goals. So try to draw those lines, see how it's working for you. For some people, it is not simple. It's may activate emotion. So Neurographica is a very emotional drawing. So don't be afraid, just observe your emotions. There is no judgment. There is no something that you need to do right away. You just keep drawing and see how those emotions expressed on paper, how they can be seen. Like one of the important things that we need to see those emotions, see how they, how intense they are in our lives, in our mind. So try to draw your neural lines, see what's working. Maybe something doesn't work. Maybe line is very spiky. Line represents process. How you thinking, how you communicating, how you reach your goals, how you set up goals, how you learn. So all of it is is a process. Life is a process as well. And some of you try to set up very high goals, and or some try to use the art of small steps. There is no judgment. There is no good answer, like which one is good, which one is bad. Like we are different. Another exercise I offer you to do, we will, if you have a penny or maybe any other round object, or maybe it's a cup from your marker, so we can go through like all three of you. And I love this exercise for people who stuck in patterns. Children love this too as well. And we start using tip of my pen or pencil or marker and start pushing. And the round objects start rotating and go unpredictable way. So don't rush. Do it slowly. See where does this pen is leading you. Maybe some have this bigger instrument and it goes differently. You see how it significantly changed. It's still been narrow line, but it's significantly changed. So I had some of my students very, especially when we're talking about elder people, they can be stuck in some patterns. They don't see the end, like exit from this. Like they're going in the loop and repeating the same mistakes over and over. So this is we training ourselves how to avoid patterns, how to go some unusual direction, surprise ourselves, and learn something different. Well, like this narrow line really train us how to be surprised about life, how to be excited about life without any expectations and just enjoy the process. Like really, the process is the main point. Like, what's the point of life if you're just going to reach your goal? We know the goal is not, maybe not as exciting as the path to reach it or as the journey. Okay, so we learn many lines. We learn how to draw them. Each line, when it crosses each other, creates corners. And in Neurographica, we say that corners represents conflicts. Traditionally, from ancient times, everything that is sharp represents danger. Knives, teeth, claws, spikes, everything, like we start feeling defensive. So when two narrow lines crossing each other, it has four corners. So each corner looks like letter V, but we want to smooth it out. We want to create letter U instead of V, and we start rounding. So today I use a Uniball pen. You can use Sharpie, you can use pencils, you can use colored pencils. So see which instrument is the best for you. It really doesn't matter. Like many of my drawings were just like blue ink pen. So this is not a requirement to have very good instruments. Even I have to warn, like after you start drawing Neurographica, you will want to buy good pencils and good markers. It's usually what is first investments. Okay, so try to several drawings. I have to warn you that sometimes when we have skinny lines and we try to, this is gone. And when we try to round it with a flag, and we create this very dark, very bold spike. There is nothing safe about the spike. It's like it really brings a lot of attention here. So in this case, I highly encourage you to make bolder all your lines. They will be but they will be smooth. There will be energy moving from one side to another, so there will be no stuckness in the energy. So you can try this too. And when we learn how to do it on a bigger scale, I invite you to return to this first page and just try to see how you're smoothing. So actually, when we do when there is the transformation from corners to circles, circles represent harmony, they represent safety, they represent mother womb, mother breath, sun, moon, some relaxation. The circle represent God itself, so, or some higher energies, higher powers that supporting us. Resources are represented by circles. Because there is no corners, there is always, it's a perfect shape with best potential. So, learn how to run. Let me close window for example. Sound outside. And just practice, like we transforming conflict in something positive. We transforming stuckness in smooth process and a smooth movement. Many people recognize this step, like when we round corners in smooth movement, as a meditation. So this is the point when we may relax. At the beginning, if conflicts are like very stressful for you, you hate conflicts, you try to avoid them, like this may be emotional step. There may be resistance. So stay and train your brain, train your mind that dealing with conflict could be easy. It could be simpler. It could be just a skill that you need to acquire, and you don't have to be overwhelmed by conflicts all the time. Some rare cases may even don't recognize corners. We working with symbols, and when I say that corner represents conflict, we're working now with the symbol that represent conflict. And if you was born and raised in a very dangerous environment, or like when conflicts were constantly and you had nothing to change, like you did not know how to change the situation. And it's like, well, when you're, let's say, in an abusive family or in dangerous neighborhood where conflicts are all the time, your brain get tired from all this danger or from all this overwhelm, and at some point start recognizing the conflicts. So there are some situations, and we need to train our brain that, like, okay, let's go back and unlock this blindness. Like, let's see that we can be dealing with conflicts now is safe. You will be fine. We will just teach you how to recognize conflict. Why is it important to recognize conflict? To avoid danger. Because when we don't recognize symptoms, like questionable people, questionable road that you're walking, and like if you attune to simple symptoms of danger, you can't avoid them. Like you can say, like, you know, I'd rather don't go this way. I'd rather to be in a different company, in a different group of people and learn how to be in a safer environment. This is really, you need to learn how to recognize conflicts to avoid them. Another thing that is very important, when we don't see conflicts, we don't recognize when we are causing those conflicts. Sometimes we overreact, sometimes we saying something that is not, should not be said. And when we know, we can, when we know that something I can be the reason for some of the conflicts, not for everything. Everybody is causing conflicts, so it's okay. We need conflicts actually. We can prepare and avoid them as well. Consciously avoid, not just subconsciously try to avoid all these opportunities, but consciously decide what I want to take risk or what I want to avoid. So conflicts are needed. We need, for any leadership, you need to learn how to deal with conflicts, because you need to learn how to say yes or no. And this is very important. So I hope you enjoy the roundings. So here is how we round in Neurograph. And you see how the drawing starts changing. Everything, the energy, the lines are smoothed out and it's moving. And we can spend even more time, or you can finish this later. So next step. Neurographica is not just positive drawing. This is a very practical method that we want to change something in our life. So right now, I invite you to pick a topic or situation which you want to change. It could be related to your job, it could be related to your relationship, to your health, to your stress level, to your to anything that's causing the stress right now, something that you are not satisfied, something that you don't like and you want to change. So you want to take some active actions to change it. And you know that it may cause some conflicts in the process, but we need to prepare for them. We want to feel comfortable about them. So pick the topic. So we will make sure that we transform it in a positive way. So the topic, you can just take another piece of paper and we will do 2 minutes exercise to activate some emotions related to this topic, to see what kind of associations you have related to this topic. So let's say that my topic is going to be about course in August. So I want to make sure that we have enough, like a good group of students. And I'm a little bit anxious about it right now. So I want to make sure that I feel good about it. So now, what we are going to do, I will set up stopwatch for 2 minutes. We will do some brainstorming. On speed, you will write down as many words as possible in your native language, or like what kind of associations you have related to your topic. Okay, are we ready? 2 minutes. Words can be bad words, words can be made up words, it could be names, it could be repeated many times. Like one of the topics that I was writing, I had to repeat like 15 times the same word over and over before I got the message. Like there's a very clear connection was with that word. So don't analyze, just like brainstorm. Like we write words, we don't write sentences. It could be some couple of words, phrases, but usually just words. Okay, so 2 minutes about your topic. these noises. We have about 50 seconds left. And it's 2 minutes. Okay, so finish your last words. And so first, what I'm asking you, just count how many words you have. I have 27 words about mine. And just take a look on your list and see, maybe some of those words really strikes you. Some of those words can surprise you. You never expected that it's related to this topic. So see if there are such words. See how many words you have and what kind of words. Like, we don't analyze them much, but we try just to see like if there is any association that's like really unexpected, something surprisingly. Because if you write about love and one of those words is a pain, there is a clear constraint there, like there is some block that you need to work on. So for me, it's interesting, like there is a lot of words about something that is going on with the world. There is some aggression, some emotional overwhelm, so there is some, it's not even related to me, but to the world. Like I really have something here is going on. But I'm glad that the second half of my words are more inspiring and more about beauty and about blessings and inspiration. This is my list of words. So this is your associations. Like, see what kind of emotions now you have in your body. Like when we were talking about associations related to the topic, now you see what kind of words your mind connecting to the topic. So it's not just relationship. There's the whole list related to it. There's the whole list associations related to it. So now I want you to put your feet on the ground, close your eyes, and scan your body. Like what kind of emotions activated in your body, where they locate, and if there is any unease or maybe discomfort in your body. So you can just scan your body. Like we don't try to change anything right now. We're just scanning, we're just observing, seeing. Now when we do the inhale, we try to scoop all this emotional disturbance from our body and guide them to your right hand if you're righty, or left hand if you're lefty. So we inhale and scoop all these emotions and guide them to your right, to your hand. And through your hand, it goes to your pen or pencil or marker. So see which one works the best for you. See, like maybe I will do. Where did I put it? So if I will use my Sharpie today. So I will inhale, scoop emotions, guide them to my hand, to my marker, to the tip of the marker. So tip of the marker is a channel of my emotions on the paper. So it will help me to express all the emotions on the paper related to this specific topic, not to like the whole disturbance in my body, but just specifically to this topic. So take a look. So I inhale, and when I exhale, I do such catharsis on paper. Okay, it's a quite intense one. So I encourage you to take a deep inhale and exhale, do catharsis on the paper. So you should receive, like you should have your own mess on your paper. So some kind of doodling that doesn't make much sense. First of all, look how intense it is. Is it just light, something like this, or is it really, there are many lines, there is a lot of pressure, there is a lot of emotions related to this topic. So this is the first step we're doing, like we observe. Next step, we start doing magic. We start rounding corners. Like mine is a little bit pale, and first of all, I want to make it bolder. I want to make sure that I see all those crossings, all the lines. So if yours is pale, I highly recommend you to make it bolder as well, because it will be easier to round. Okay. And we pay attention how your body reacts, like what kind of reactions you have. Okay, so it's not the perfect line, but it's okay. I will make it smooth and beautiful right away. So I start rounding all corners that are inside of my shape, of my catharsis. I start rounding and just color what does not belong, like all these corners. I just color them with the black. You don't need to use black. You can use different colors if you'd like. For me, black is easier to see on camera, so that's why I use black. But if you have different colors, please do so. Sometimes I use different colors as well. All this, we just working with corners inside. We don't really need to change much outside yet. There will be several steps that we will do. So this is the step number 2. No, it's actually already the step number 3. So we already picked the topic, we did the catharsis, and now we rounding corners. Okay. attention, how any reactions in your body, any changes, what kind of emotions you have. When there was a catharsis at the beginning, there was any emotional disturbance, any resistance in your new emotions in your body. So there is any, how do you breathe? Very important to pay attention to the way you're breathing. So this, we try to recognize all the reactions in your body to make sure that we not just zoom out like from or flying somewhere in sky, that we still be grounded, we still be connected to our body. We want to connect to our mind and our body and our emotions. Like we want to see how it's all together, they make a difference. Maybe you can even look if there is any internal image or vision of the topic that you're working on right now. Okay. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. A lot of questions really makes the whole drawing more dynamic. So we activating our fine motor skills and really impacting, creating new neuron connections through our body, through emotional charge that is related to it. So we're creating new connections to change the old one, because old ones could be like if you believe that you are not you are unlucky in relationship, that you are or something, this connection is very strong. If it was for many years, there's a lot of emotions related to it, many belief system, maybe even family system involved in it. So it takes a lot to create new connections and weaken old ones. We need to pay attention to what is going on in our body to anchor this new emotional impact. Okay, so this is what I've done. So I rounded all my corners. It looks already safer, but it's a little bit isolated. It's a little bit still be intense. And we are like air balloons. Like if we have inside of us a lot of pressure, air pressure, and there is no pressure outside, balloon will explode at some time, and it will be no fun for everybody who is watching it. Like it's usually like very scary, very loud, and it's very disturbing for everyone. So now we want to create a little bit more pressure outside to make sure that we I will come back to Sonal to your questions just in a second. So we want to create enough pressure outside to make sure that it's comfortable for us, that it's not overwhelming for us, that we are not feeling discomfortable because so much pressure inside of us. Okay, so the Sonal is asking, can we do it twice if we do mistake? So what is very beautiful about Neurographica, that mistakes are welcome. Mistakes is just an opportunity to change your design. So if you've done catharsis a little bit too much, just keep rounding. If you you can do it another way, like you can do another catharsis on another paper, but look at any Neurographica drawing as a representation of life. There is no much you can go and redo it again. Like it will take a lot of time, and it's usually not. It's usually quite wasting time. But how you can integrate your mistake can make something beautiful, meaningful out of it. So if you have something that you did not round correctly, try to change it. See, maybe it will create your unique style. So I highly recommend just to stay with what you have right now. Play with this. It's a creativity, how you can transform mistakes in something beautiful. As a woodcarver, working with wood could be very challenging, and it's with the sharp objects you always make mistakes. And my teacher, who is 73 years old, he is saying like, great, now we change design, now we incorporate this mistake in what you have right now. And usually it creates unique design. Instead of working and satisfying your expectation how it should look at the beginning, you can do something new, something beautiful, and be surprised. I'm very proud that you can do it. Okay, so external pressure. So all these spikes that are going outside of my shape, I start expanding them. I use narrow line to reach the edge of paper. So I just go and expand, and I create them as many as I have spikes, and they can go any direction. So see if you want to create, like some of the spikes can go even like many different directions. Expand. If you have a spike in the middle, you can do it from the middle. And don't afraid to create more corners, because we know that the tool that can help us to release those corners. It's the more corners we round, the better. The quality of work in Neurographic is considered how many lines you have. So this is the way to release your pressure. This is the way to reach to the society for help. And we need to understand that it's not just we trying to reach the society, but society can reach us. So from the edge of paper, we start leading the narrow lines that goes through us. Like, we don't want anybody stuck in us. We want to be inspired by people. We want to be helped by people. We want to be loved by people, but we don't want anybody really stuck inside of our mind. It's not healthy. I believe that should be dynamic energy from people to people, but not so the energy is going through you, and it can go from different directions, and it creates conflicts, of course, but you will see how different and how more and more complex and unique your drawing will be, will be, because of all this interesting lines. Some lines can repeat itself, like they can go along already existing lines. Some can create completely new patterns. Here. Okay, so this is quite a mess again. So now we know how to clean the mess. So we start rounding those corners again. Interacting with society requires the skill how to manage, how to deal with conflicts. Because if we just try to avoid conflicts all the time, it will not lead us anywhere. Like, it's a dead end. Say yes, I want this or that is a conflict. Say no, I don't want this is a conflict. If you will try to avoid conflict, and always agree to something that you don't want, that you don't allow, that you don't feel is comfortable for you, you will become a victim. And nobody wants to be a victim. Nobody wants to be like told what to do. We want to take responsibility and freedom in our life. And this is what you need to learn, how to deal with conflicts. Not try to activate, initiate any conflict, but don't try to avoid them with sacrifices. Like I know that many people afraid so much conflict that they agree to anything, just like because they cannot say something. Like try to avoid any arguments, try to avoid any defending themselves. Like it's very important to feel not overwhelmed by conflict. And I know that some, like we, there's for some people there's very big conflicts around, and it's again, it's you just need to learn the skill and feel comfortable about them, like not overwhelmed. Because when we overwhelm, we are in such emotional state that like, okay, I agree to anything, just like stop it. Like I don't want anything. So I just want to make sure that there's no conflicts anymore. So, and this is will cause other internal conflicts in your life. Okay. So again, I'm not asking you to start conflicts in your life, but I want you to train your mind how to be comfortable and recognize what is could be solved or what could be avoided. There is you can have when you're aware of conflicts, when you're not overwhelmed by them, you can take conscious decision what I want to do. You will have such freedom to choose. You don't just react, but you can choose. Like, okay, so do I want to deal with this conflict, or I want just move on and come back to this maybe later, or maybe it's not what I want, and just at the beginning. So it's very important. We need conflicts to operate business. We like exercising quite a conflict. Like we have to every day. You have to force yourself to start exercise instead of just lay down and do nothing. So see how you feel when you have so much around us, around you, so many. I had several of my students who don't see corners, and it just requires some patience, a lot of time, like to train your mind. Like, okay, so this is a corner, this is a conflict, and I have the power to change it. I have the power to see and to transform it. And how do I feel about it? I've seen it from children. I see it from the adult people, but usually it's a very, very complex situations. Involve a lot of abuse, involve a lot of drama in their life. So it's but if you have experience, you don't see the corners, it's you can train your mind to be more comfortable, like to and adjust to conflicts differently. Let me know if such situation. Even healthy people, happy people don't recognize the about 10% of their conflicts, mostly because they repeat the same conflicts as a pattern, and for them it's okay. It was maybe a family tradition or maybe something else, and it's so if you don't see it, like if you think that you've done all the corners, rotate your paper, look at these different sides, and maybe something new will show up, maybe new corners. Or in other options, you can show it to somebody else and see, like, do you see corners on my drawings? And it's usually somebody can find it. Can we smoothen the lines that are connected to the outside of the page? Like this, you can smooth any line that you want to smooth them. Like if you want some of those lines maybe softer, you can do. We don't round those corners because usually in Neurographica, the size of the paper doesn't mean anything. And sometimes, because we're working with just part of your mind, part of your brain, and sometimes people want to glue this piece of paper to another piece of paper and expand it and work with the continuing lines. So if you want, you can round this, like if it really brings you attention, but it's maybe it's just wants to be expanded. So be aware that this is an option. And it's interesting when we're working in groups, offline with several people, it's very often we are become attuned to each other. And my lines, if I connect to another drawing, some of those lines will be perfectly matching each other because we are continuing, like we connected, and our minds somehow connected, and our emotions are connected, and it's very interesting to see how is it presented in artwork. So it's and if you look at several of your drawings and see if they can be adjusted together, like if they will be placed together, they can be connected as well. So some of those lines will be continuously presented in another drawing. Some shapes can be expanded, like you see you have this big circle on the side, and you have another drawing a week later, and it's continuing the same topic. So it's a very interesting and very beautiful how people can connect several drawings in one big art piece. We have just finished on Sunday marathon, 21-day marathon, when we worked every day on one topic and transformed it. In our perception to the topic had many realization, many insights, and several people connected all those drawings, small piece of drawings, in a bigger posters, and it's how they really, you can see from those drawings the dynamic from day one till day 21, and it's there is a bigger picture, bigger meaning appears in those continuing drawings. It's very interesting to observe. I haven't connected my drawings because I was drawing on cards, and at the end of the class I will show you what I have from my marathon. But be aware that like sometimes we think that like, okay, so this drawing is wasting, but maybe it's a part of some very important transformation. Maybe you had to go through this important challenge, and it's leaded you to some other thing, some other realization, some other skill that you acquired. So it's don't don't try to throw away your drawings. First of all, you can come back and change it. Like maybe you need to connect more, add more lines, or bring different colors, or maybe draw some shapes that will have different meanings on your drawing. So it's very interesting, like how your drawings can be transformed by simple skills. Like really, you don't need to have any drawing experiences. My husband is doing can do Neurographica. I cannot say like he's doing it every day, but he is a certified user. And my father can do it, and my mother can do it, so everybody can do it. So it's really, you don't need to be professional artists to be able to draw Neurographica. But I found out that some people don't want to really activate any changes. They may be complaining all the time, it's like, oh, no, I'm not satisfied with this and that, and it's somehow they feel a lot of joy, and maybe not joy, but comfort about that everything is already predicted. Yes, I will do the same mistakes over and over, but it's I don't want to do anything because unknown is even scarier. So this really, we learn how to prepare ourselves to be excited about something new, about new opportunities, about new people in our lives, new skills in our lives, and be excited about something that is not predictable. I know that there is so much changes these days in every aspect of our lives, and it's still be overwhelming for most of us. How we can cope with this, like how we can really support ourselves in this journey and experience the joy as well. There is no limitation. There is all possibilities in this new discoveries, new opportunities. Okay. Again, I remind you, pay attention how you're feeling, how emotions are changing, how maybe breathing is changing. So what I've noticed that my voice starts being like normal now instead of stuck. And maybe you can notice that your body starts being a little bit more relaxed, and your mind is slowing down, your breathing is slowing down and getting deeper, and you have, you may receive some insights, right? Like at this point or later, it really doesn't matter when, but it's just observe your reactions, your emotions, your mind, your experience. What is the experience? In Neurographica, what is going on with artist is more important than what he is creating on his paper. The process in your body, in your mind, is precious, has the priceless value, and this is why we're bringing attention to what is going on inside of you. Don't try to start off with your paper. So paper is just a reflection of what is going on inside of you. But it's not limited. Like if you had last experienced like many insights and your drawing is simplified and not considered as an art, even I would question it, but it's like if you think that your drawing is simple instead of like your experiences, experience is more important. You achieved what you are looking for. You achieved your changes, in internal changes. Okay. So if you have any questions, please ask. If you have any comments, please let me know. If you need to add more lines, you can do it at any time. You don't have to ask any permission. Like if you want to expand any of the lines, please do so. You don't. You are creator. You creator of your drawing, of your reality, of yourself, and don't ask permission. Like my answer will be, of course you can do it. I can try to encourage you for something else, but I will never say like, oh no, don't do it. Like try, see how you feel about it, see how it resonates with your body. We have, sometimes I have like Neurographica has some guidance, and we sometimes try to encourage you to avoid some things, but it's but I had feedback from so many students, like, I have a very important meaning to this particular element, and it's makes me feel good, and this is what matters. So all my guidance stopped there right away. So if this is what more important, your experience, your meanings. Each shape, each circle may have your own meanings, and it's very important for you to listen to those meanings. Okay, so I think I finished all my roundings, and you can do it. Don't rush. Oh, very important. Don't rush. Don't try to. Okay, so she's done. Like I have to do the same. No. Please take your time. We all have different pace. I've seen many times when students start rushing things through, and it's just get messy and nobody is satisfied. I'm doing it fast because I've done it thousands times, and you'd rather watch it later and put it on pause and finish your steps at the pace that you feel comfortable. We have different goals in our lives, we have different skills, we have different tools. So there is no comparison to anybody. So please try to be as gentle to yourself as possible. I'm like really trying to give you so much information that in 2 hours is quite a challenge. And if you watch different classes, like from different introduction classes, you may see that I'm talking sometimes about some different things. What does it mean if you see the corners and attempt to smoothen them, but turns out you are sharpening them instead? The funniest things are not the funniest, it's actually the sad thing. Like sometimes when we see the corners and when we don't know how to work with them, we are concentrated on them. Like I teach Neurographica at the Correction Center for Children. And the scariest things I've ever seen, that one child, like when I say like around corners, his action was like this. He, instead of smoothing those corners, really used a more aggressive approach to them. This is the way he operates in communication. This is the way he recognizes conflicts and defense. Like there is a rule like the best defense is aggression or offense. Like the best defense is offense, and it's a really scary because it's a dead end. You're not just not resolving conflicts, but creating even more new ones. I've seen such situation with some depression when people try to like find confirmation, like I'm challenged, there's already hard time for me, and as a confirmation you look around and every reason that feel even worse, you activate it and like finding more and more way to feel like to excuse yourself that you're feeling bad. So it's maybe quite vague explanation, but this is what I've seen. And from children that I'm teaching to and from adults as well. It's a challenge. It's a victim consciousness, and it's very important to say, no, I'm not a victim. I have many opportunities to be creator of my life, and it's only my decision what I want to do. Like, do I want to concentrate on conflict, or I want to give a chance to resolve them and smooth them out? So it's and I believe that everybody in lifetime has difficult times, challenging times, and it's there is no judgments about it, but there is some challenges that the person may have, and it's one of the advices: find a professional help. Like if there is such a situation that you are stuck on conflict, professional help can be very useful in these situations, and as a support and guide people. So yeah, this is what I can tell about it. And because if you even if you concentrated on conflicts, there should be somebody next to you that you feel supported by. Okay, so I think this makes sense. Next step, we've done rounding. We tried to dissolve, like mine is a little bit still be bright inside, but still be so more lights outside, and we start coloring. So pick any colors that you want, and in Neurographica, okay, so wait. If we find the gaps too small, too smooth, and can we fill it up with color? Yes, please do so. I'm trying to save every teeny tiny bits, like and round them, like so like this. I would try to round them, but you can just color them. You can just make them bolder. This is really a question of preferences. It's not something that there is a concrete rule. And I know that some of my clients, like my students, some of them like hate small bubbles, hate small elements like this. They were like, no, there will be no small bubbles. There will be like, they really bring different associations. So I want you to be comfortable about your drawing, and so you need to see what you want to do. How does doing Neurographica drawings again and again help? So if you're working with the same topic, at the end of each drawing, you see what has changed in your relationship to the topic. And next drawing, when you start, you're starting from that point. Like, for example, you can start drawing on the topic of health. And at the end, you realize, like, I need more water. I need to drink more water. Or next drawing may give you realization that I need to make sure that I sleep enough hours. So will be a little bit discovery in each drawing. So some complex drawings can be not be able to resolve in one drawing, because there's so many associations related to it. There is so many layers of it that you need to work on. Okay, so I hope it's I answered your question, Tibra. Okay, coloring. In Neurographica, we color several segments together. So we trying to see bigger meanings and bigger shapes. And they will be unusual shapes, maybe like very unique shapes, because we have this narrow lines, and it's very important to be able to go in details when it's needed and see bigger meanings when it's other reasons for it, like because we have many of us, like we kind of stuck in details, and it's very important to give ourselves the freedom to choose that you can see details when it's needed and bigger purposes, bigger meanings when it's other reasons. Bigger meanings are very important for managers, like for strategy. Like it's we can, if we will pay attention only to details, we will be kind of trained in them. Like we need some. We need to understand the purposes of this whole work. So I usually color with the flow. You can just color several segments together and see how you feel. Oh, I have a heart here. See how you feel about those colors. Like colors, if you have a challenge to pick the color, I highly recommend just close your eyes and pick the colors randomly, because they will really still be representing something in your life. They'll still be representing some bigger meanings and bigger purposes, bigger emotions. Again, you can add more lines at any time, so there is no restrictions. You just need to integrate them by rounding corners. See how many lines, how many how many colors you want. I usually encourage use at least 3 because colors represent emotions, and we are quite complex creatures that emotions are not just one. There's always quite a cocktail of emotions, and to allow yourself to see all of them, to see how they support each other or how they integrate it, it can give you some bigger meanings, bigger understanding about yourself. Okay. So let's see which color. At the beginning, your mind may start looking for the very recognizable shapes, flowers, hearts, butterflies, maybe birds. It's because for our mind, mind is looking for explanation, looking for meanings, and it's okay to have such shapes on your drawing. But at some point, your mind says like, okay, I can give any shape my own unique meanings, my own unique symbols, and it's okay that it doesn't look like anything else. So it's but it may require some time. It may require some practice. You may color everything, like all 100%. Usually the best look if 70% are colored and 30 is still be white. So some of my drawings are very busy and very bright and intense with colors. Some of them could be very gentle, and there's a more and more white color presented in them. So it's different topics may be differently colored. Not maybe, like they always differently colored, and the colors usually give you some messages. But see what kind of associations you have with the colors. What do they mean to you? I can give you some interpretation at the end of this class, but it's not necessarily will resonate with you because you may have completely different associations related to these colors, and it's very important to understand it. Like if there was some trauma and you this color, particular color stuck in your mind related to this trauma, it's you need to work with it to release it. And your interpretation will be completely different. So again, I color usually as a flow, but yours could be different shapes, just different segments, different places. Okay. Do we have to use only one color or randomly color? So I highly recommend, as I said, I highly recommend to use at least 3. You can use as many as you want. This could be 10 colors. They can be blended. They can be creating, mixing together. So they like one color can move to another, and it's may tell me something about your personality, but please use as many as you want. You can use color pencils. Some of my students use watercolors. Like, it's really beautiful, and I'm still in a process to learn how to be better with watercolors, but you can try to integrate it for yours. You can use highlighters. They can be very bright and very, but at the same time they are translucent, so it's created quite a bright and colorful picture. So you can try to use them. Pavel Piskarev, who is the creator of this method, he used highlighters all the time. He loved them because they have a chisel tip, and it's very easy to fill this big elements very fast. I use highlighters sometimes when we do group projects, like when 4 or 5 people working together on the same topic on one piece of paper. That's very interesting how it's how many new realizations you can see as a team, as a group of people. So it's very helpful when we are working with a team building, or just release some stress from the group as well. Okay, so see if anything else I want to mention. I just follow my intuition where the color wants to go. It really doesn't have any particular destinations or any expectations. And you don't really have to stay with the color within borders. It's see if you want to go beyond, if you want to explore your surroundings and mix colors together, or if you want to make a smooth transition from one color to another. It's fun too. You can use different shades to activate some colors. Okay, what else? See what you want to be on this drawing. And you can do grading from darker tones to lighter. So it's a really, I've seen so many beautiful art, like Neuroart. We have some professional artists who use Neurographica to create some beautiful pieces, and it's very encouraging, like when they use some neuro lines or use some acrylic paint to go on a different scale. Now, when I will have a little bit more time, I will try some acrylic paint. Maybe there is already so much on my list what I wanted to try. Interesting. It's very hard to analyze your own drawing. You just saw into the process that really all these colors really doesn't make any sense, or it doesn't have much impact on this drawing. But when you are looking at some other pictures and other drawings, you have a different understanding and realization. There is a rule that if you want to analyze the system, and we are the system, like all our mind is the system, and family systems, corporation system, you need to go on a different level or invite somebody who is out of your system, who can look at the system differently, who doesn't have much connections, emotional connections related to it. So if I want some interpretation, I usually ask my co-teacher, my partner, like she might sometimes give me some clues. But I trust my process, like really what I experienced during this really makes me more comfortable. So I start a little bit intensify some edges, and then this I'm almost done with coloring, so I don't want to go in many small details. Maybe I will come back to this drawing later and finish it later. So we still need to do some steps that I want to show you. Okay, so as I said, like I don't think I said that neurolines usually represent and resonate with the wave, with the vibration that we express to the world. Like this, each of us vibrate on a different scale, but universe has its own vibration. So universe has its own wave, and we want to be aligned with this wave. We want to be aligned with the universe. We want to be guided, and we want to be at the right place at the right time, follow our karmic destination, feel supported by the universe, not overwhelmed. And in this case, I highly encourage you to go for the next step. And I usually use a bolder marker, like chisel tip, or you can use the same marker or pencil, just follow like several times. You can use color pencils to make those lines. You can use highlighters to create those lines. And those lines called field lines. Field lines represent the field of energy and information that we can be accessed to. So if you ever tried participated in a family constellation, the terminology field is should be very familiar to you. And I just follow some of the lines, or sometimes they want to create a different path, and I just create this bold lines. Don't be scared, like, oh my God, they ruined all my drawings. So don't be afraid. This is the guidance from the universe, and we know the tricks how to integrate it later. So, and I create more lines, and you see that like they create like new corners, of course, because we are not always following this karmic journey right away. We sometimes can be stubborn. Usually 2-3 of such lines are enough. They can be dividing, they can merge, they can cross each other, but they somehow guide you. They somehow encourage you. If we don't listen to the universe, the guidance, it starts trying to force us, and we don't want to be forced. We want to be gently guided. So we want to be really gently encouraged. So see how many lines you want. Like, well, usually on this side, size of paper, 2, 3 are enough. As I said, like they can be divided, they can be merging. And after I finish drawing them, like I start rounding them, because divine plan or karmic plan may be not what we are doing right now, and alignment with this could be quite ruthless. Like it's a, we want to be gentle guidance. We don't want to be forced. We want to be aligned and supported on this journey. Nobody wants to be forced to do something that they don't want to. But to see it, to recognize the guidance is very important. To recognize the messages from the universe is very important. The messages could be from anywhere, from anything. Like people tell you something, some song that you hear may give you the answer to your prayers. Some meditation can give you some support, or maybe some book that you find, something that is very important. I've seen many interesting messages from all different situations. It could be natural event that really can be very inspiring. Like you can go and thinking about your relationship and what does this mean to me, and suddenly you see a rainbow, or maybe you see a butterfly that has a different meanings to you and has a different messages. Like there is a message right there, or further on your way that can be a message to you. So it's pay attention, see what is around you, who is bringing these messages, and I hope it will be all beautiful messages, because they guiding you, like they really allowing you to go wherever you where you're supposed to be. Okay, so I encourage you to round all these corners. If you use a marker may be challenging on top of color pencil. So I highly, in this case, you may try to do with color pencil. Like if you did black lines, black color pencil, maybe is enough to round all these corners. Some people prefer to do filled lines with the different colors. It's a little bit challenge to integrate to round crossings, like we'll say black and red lines, because we want to be everything integrated. So at the beginning, I would highly recommend you to use just the same colors. But if you want to try, nobody is going to stop you. Play with this. This is your creative opportunity to experiment. See what is working, what does not working. So it's really representing many things to you, many opportunities. Okay. And again, see how's your body reacting, how's your emotional state, how's your mind, what you're thinking about. Resistance is okay. Resistance is normal for such transformation. Like we are transforming something, and our mind really hates any changes. And we be gentle but persistent with our changes. We don't want to give up because some discomfort. But be aware that you don't have to force anything. See how far you can go right now. And celebrate your achievement right now. See what has changed inside of you. During this class. Almost done with my round again. And you see, like, if I continue rounding all this corner that the black ball line created, somehow it looks quite organic. It makes a strong flow, and it's really supporting for the rest of the drawing. Okay, and one more step is important. See if any of these elements on your drawing want to be create some kind of shape that you want to identify. It could be circle, or it could be heart, or maybe it could be some other shape that you want to recognize. Something that is really may connect everything, like may tell you story. See if I want to. For some reason, I have a lot of attention here, even it's not the more intense area, but somehow this wants to be created as a circle. So I use some part of it as a curve to expand it as a circle. So I want to harmonize it. I want to make sure that I feel safe and supported in this process, in this topic that I was working about, the course. And I want to bring this circle. You can find more circles or more different shapes on your drawing. See, you can really find very big shapes. I'm like, when I was talking about big shapes, I'm actually, there is a big circle here. That, as I said, that the size of the paper can be extended. So I can just find the arc of a circle, and it will have a very important meaning for me. So let's see if I want. So it's a huge, really huge circle. Let's see. And it really doesn't matter, like if anybody else sees the circle, if you see that there's something here and you want to highlight it, okay? This is what matters. Again, it's created some mass, some intensity, and I just need to round the corners. I just need to integrate it. Okay. To make it smooth, to make it organic in this drawing. You know, like for me, there was a big circle there, so it's your reality. It's really the only thing that is matters is what you see in this reality, nobody else. And it's we don't really ask other, like, oh, what do you see on my drawing? Because like everybody may see different meanings. but what you see is the most important. It's your drawing, it's your subconsciousness is trying to send you a message, and it's priority number one. So trust yourself more than anybody, more than any of your instructors. Like, this is what matters the most, is that you trust yourself. Instructors may give you some suggestions, may give you some interpretations, but if you have a different meanings, different feelings about it, this is what matters, and this you need to cherish the most. Okay. Okay, so we are almost there, and after if you find any objects, see which one you want to highlight, which one you really want to remember. Interesting, all this huge circle. Something is coming. So I selected in my drawing two objects, like small circle and huge one. I don't know even like what this huge one represents. If I can give some meanings to small one, but the big one really a little bit surprise for me. Even I felt like I've seen it at the beginning, this arc. I don't know. Very important at the end to see what do you want to anchor, what do you want to remember from your drawing, which element is the most important. Do you want to remember maybe the heart that you see on the drawing? Maybe it's a circle, maybe it's some unusual shape that really gives you some meanings and understanding. So recognize what you see and what you want to remember. So this is important for you, not for anybody else. You don't have to explain why you picked this element. It's your drawing, your art, your subconsciousness. So this is important. So I highlight this arc of a huge circle. I don't know what it means, but I love that it's a big and it's a circular, and it somehow it gives me some power. I will, and it's only me who can give meanings and interpretation to it. So it's could be a resource, or it could be some new level of my personal development, and it's I want to highlight, I want to remember, and I want to make it a little bit more circular. Okay. So and I don't have to color it completely, but I can just highlight it. I can just make it more noticeable, stand it out from this drawing. You can make it stand out by thickness of the line or by colors. You can make it brighter, you can make it bolder, you can make it more contrast compared to the rest of your drawing. Sometimes I even use a black outline to make sure that I remember it. You can do 2 or 3 different shapes, yes. Try to to highlight one or two to make to see if there is any stories. There is any story between those two, three, because you're working with one topic. See how they can be connected, what their meanings may be connected. So this is important. Thank you. It's a very good question about several shapes. Wow, something blue is coming to me. I don't know. There is so much, and it's a different quality, different intensity. Okay, and it's huge. I love, like, I love huge challenges. Looking forward to it. Okay, and I wanted to highlight this as well. This may be, and this I have associations, like this is maybe the course that I'm teaching right now, but this is just a teeny tiny element compared to what is coming forward. I don't know yet what it is. That's a little bit, could be exciting and overwhelming at the same time, but I'm very excited. I'm like, oh, really? It's my interpretation related to my topic. I don't know what it is, but I feel, somehow I feel more excited than anything else. To highlight it somehow differently. Okay. So tea time. Okay, so my drawing is done. You see, like this is like teeny tiny, like the cord that I was worried about it. So when something enormously huge is coming. I promised to show you some drawings that I've done during the marathon that we've just finished. Some of the people still continue. So these are simple cards. Like you see, I've just created cards that I'm planning to give as a present. And they did not take more than 30 minutes to work on, and they are different. Like all of them started with a catharsis, and I just followed all the steps and how you can be creating something different and unique every time without expectation how it should look. So it's very important. Don't expect, don't really how it should look, how it should not. It's a limitation that we want to avoid or accept as a challenge. Can I do it differently or not? Some of them, like I like a lot. Some of them I don't like, and it's not like I don't like. Some of them are not what makes me very excited about them. And this big one on the black one. So you can do it different on a different paper. So this is my drawing. So this is my today's drawing. So, and I will switch to my camera so I can see you, you can see me. And if you want to share your drawings, if you want to ask your questions, please do so. We have several minutes, and welcome to the group, Facebook group, where you can share your drawings. There's so many beautiful people who share their experiences, and it's a very beautiful community to be connected to and learn every day something new. There's many classes, free classes that you can attend, or there will be announcements about paid classes as well. So please welcome. The link to this group is on top of the chat, so you can scroll up and it will be available. If so, some people who are going to watch it later on YouTube, there will be some information and links on in info box. So, okay, does anyone wants to share their drawings to see if I want to hear my feedback? Okay, so Brenda is ready. Wait, Liz, I will come back to you. Okay. Very beautiful. It's a very interesting how this turquoise color, that is like a comet, is coming to your drawing. So it's very interesting how much yellow usually represents intellect. You see how much you have intellect, and you try to somehow organize it and organize creativity. So pay attention to some areas which are this orange area. Try to expand it with the lines. Like something is when I'm looking at the drawing, the first I pay attention to some areas that isolated, something that could be suppressed or ignored, some of the areas of yours. So all this a little bit orange or a little bit red, like some in the right corner. Emotions like water, if it stays without movement, it starts getting asking for more and more attention. So if you just lead the orange lines to the edge of the paper, maybe they're not black, maybe they will create some new corners to integrate, but it will help you to start moving this energy inside of you. So the orange is very important about activity, like I want to be active. It's a second chakra. It's about pleasure. It's about joy. So expand it, because you have a quite a lot of structure. You try to structure everything. It's my perception, because there's so much brown color on your drawing. So expand the orange color. Make sure that you enjoy whatever you create the structure. Make sure that your brain don't try to suppress it and like minimize it, because there is a huge potential. Like if you look at your drawing, you'll see what brings the most attention. So it brings what brings more power. You can make even bolder support from the universe. See bolder lines. Really feel the guidance. Not just know that it exists, but be guided by it. Like really allow this river of energy and universe, like really move you forward. Thanks a lot for sharing. Like I'm amazed. Like you finished the whole drawing. Okay, Liz, you're the next one. I'll be back to decide. Okay. Okay, Liz. I love how flow you have. Like the flow is really strong. It's interesting how you pay attention to details in some areas, like on the big circle, how you try to shape with the details. Don't stuck in details. Allow to be more in the flow. Trust the flow. It's a very beautiful how much you have this energy of the flow. The teeny tiny red heart, again, highly recommend you to expand the red. Expand, because it feels some kind of constraint there. How you see how it's intense and how beautiful it is and perfect, but teeny tiny. Open it. Share it with the world. You can open and expand the red, like with maybe some glowing of the red on side, and maybe with the red veins, like teeny tiny lines that really helps you to reach out to other people. And it's a very, could be an interesting experience. Wait. Let's see. The right side, where you have the spiral. See how few lines you have there. You have many lines on the ground on the left side, like it may be your left side, like but on one side there is a fewer lines, and it usually represents like traditionally we have left sides related to our mothers, to our relationship in our family, in intimacy. The right side is more like how I connected to my father, how I connected to the society, how I really shine and stand out in the society. So make sure that those lines are balanced. That like connections to the sides are very important to be balanced. So I see that next to the spirals a little bit much fewer lines. Like there is a lot of going on there, but not really reaching the edge of the paper. So thanks a lot. Thank you for sharing. I really enjoyed your drawings. Okay, one more. Okay, so which way did you draw? Is it I'm trying to see it. Was it more like it was a vertical or on a different things? Okay. Okay, this way. Okay, I see very beautiful heart. Something blue and pink is coming to you from the left side. Okay, so there's some corners they need to be rounded, and for one of this tricks that I learned, try to use skinnier, like different instruments, like skinny pen, or maybe ultra fine sharpies, or maybe ultra fine linears. It's maybe give you more control to navigate this conflict, because when we try to use the bold lines, it's a little bit challenging. So I would say conflicts are challenging for you, overwhelming, and but it's a tool. It's a muscle. We need to train the muscle. There is nothing that we cannot do. It's like, and especially if we will be excited and look at it as a creative process, it will be easier. One more thing that I want to mention, that there is some like look at the neuroline. There is some situations that you can go in patterns. It's very easy for you to go in patterns. So learn how you can change it. Like, okay, so I always reacted to this situation, this and this. Like I always was working with this one. See if anything can be done differently, and see it, like be open to the outcome. Maybe it's something new possibilities. I love how organic colors you have, like very earthy, very connected to the earth and to the nature. So I believe that nature is your ally, and you really feel a lot of support from the nature. And I'm glad, like, and see how huge heart you have. I'm very excited. Like, it's a very beautiful heart you have. Okay, so I think that's and if you want to create stronger support from the universe, like you can call it universal field, universal line, divine line, magical line, whatever you name them, whatever meaning you tell them, create them bold and strong, so you will feel the support, that you are not alone on this journey. There is bigger meaning, there is bigger purposes, and it's really aligning you to this moving forward. Thanks a lot. Like really looking forward to see like when it will be done completely. So thanks a lot. I hope anything resonated with you. Okay, so I see somebody else wanted to share drawings. Okay, so let's Dipra. Okay, welcome to all. Dipra, welcome back. Excited to see you. Hello. Okay, so it's I think it's different compared to what I've seen before. So yeah, it's different. So Dipra, first of all, some beautiful movement and different shades of colors. Like really, you can recognize different aspects of emotions. You can recognize intensity, and it's not just like, okay, so happy, that's it. You see all these flavors of happiness or sadness, or even if it's a challenging experience, like could be different flavors, different aspects. Pay attention to the right side, only few lines. Expand more lines. Yes, like on my side, yeah. So yours could be different. Again, it's a connection to father figure, to man in general, to how I represent myself in society. So it's a very important. Use it as roots. Like, okay, I need this energy. I need to be supported by this energy. You create stronger root system in that side. Left is better, but you can add even more lines. Oh, big circles. I like it's one is a circle, another it's more like an egg. So
yeah,
so see the egg is and see how bold. See the egg is and see how bold crust of it. There's borders are very strong on this big egg. That it's egg may have two meanings. Like first, something new is going to be born. Second, something is hidden. Something is protected. Something vulnerable is trying to create a strong shell around it. So in both ways, eggs needs to be opened up, cracked, and release it because it's not comfortable to hold it for a very long time. There was time needed, but maybe it's time to release it and show it to the world, present it to the world. Thanks a lot. Like one more thing that I wanted to add, if you created this beautiful red, very powerful flow, allowed to go to the earth, allowed to go full of force to the earth because there is so much on top and it's only teeny tiny stream that is going to the earth. Like make sure that it's grounded, that it's just that you are just a channel. There is nothing stuck in you because it's especially when we're talking about red color, it's a lot of energy. We need to learn how to channel it. So and
what do these colors mean?
So the pink is red is usually about interest. What I'm interested in the world, how I can interest and curiosity are different. Curiosity is like, oh, everything is interesting, but interest like how you can create deeper understanding in something and use your passion to learn more and more about it. Like so, it could be. If we don't expand something, it may create some anger and aggression. So like it's a very important, like follow your desire to research something, to expand something. The blue, when it's suppressed, it's maybe fierce. But when it's a flow, usually I see it as wisdom. As something that, and we like, there is no good or bad. We always have both sides. It's a range. Like we always have something. Like we sometimes stuck in one side and minimize the meaning of the second part. But it's usually we have both of them, and we need to balance them. Like we want to make sure that we have the options to move from one side to another. So, thanks a lot. Make stronger. Field blinds, and it's because you see how different. Like field blinds are much skinnier than your eggshell. Just pay attention. So make sure that it's supporting you. Thanks. Anybody else? I've seen somebody wanted. Show you. Okay, Mildred. Okay, welcome. Okay, very colorful, very beautifully colorful drawing. So, which way did you draw? Like, was it this, like this way? Yes. Okay. So it's so first of all, more lines to the edge. You have so much to share with people. You have such great ideas, your mind is very busy, and you're creating all these beautiful shapes and all this interesting connections, and you hold it for yourself. You're isolating your mind from the outside. Like you see how few lines you have for really reaching the edge of the paper. I would say like don't hesitate, don't be greedy, share yourself with people. You have a lot to share. Another thing that and it's really top, bottom, left, right, all directions. Yeah, like you are not alone in this processes. Like your mind is very busy. You need to write it down, maybe draw it down, something that you need to release this busyness of your mind, because it can be sometimes discomfortable, I believe, for you. Maybe even headaches may be causing, because so much going on here and nobody really listen to it. So you need to tell somebody. Okay, so one more thing that like some emotions, like you see how blue is almost moving through your, like as a flow, but other emotions a little bit isolated, like there is a different sparks of emotion. Maybe it's good for you to expand more connections, bigger connections. And you see how in the middle, when you're stuck in yourself, everything is so teeny tiny, a little bit red here, a little bit pink here, yellow here. When you look at the society, those shapes become very big and very powerful. So connect to those groups of people, connect to those bigger ideas, connect to this bigger knowledge that you can be not just learn from them, but inspire them as well. So it's a very important, like the main suggestion, connect to people. And to learn about it, connect your lines to the ages, like train your mind. I am. With each line, I connect to people. I'm connected to society. I'm connected to beautiful groups of people. Field lines, stronger field lines, bigger support from the universe in it. Like I believe, like when you will set up your mind that you're ready, you will have so many opportunities to find your crowd, like your people that will be very appreciating you, because you have a lot to share, like beautiful, very colorful. Green, see, it's almost it's like a drop, but it still have some point. So there is some inner conflict that can be causing it, but it's most likely you could be a leader. There is some leadership that you can take a position, and it's a very important. Do not suppress it. Do not really try to minimize the meaning of it. It doesn't matter how who you are and what you've done before. It's at this moment you can decide what you want to do in the future. So highly like there are some corners that can be not corners, but some points that still be not connected to anything. You can use those lines and expand them with near lines to the edge. Like use them as an opportunity to connect to people. Thanks a lot. Like really, I enjoy your drawing. So thanks a lot. Anybody else? So now, okay. Welcome. Oh, like
yes, thank you.
I'll be back to you. Just one more thing. Okay.
Okay.
This one now. Yeah, let's do yours. Okay.
Can you see it?
This way. Yes, I see. I see.
This way.
So which way did you draw?
Like this, vertical.
Like this. So it was a vertical. Okay. So first of all, I love how green it is. So green usually represent curiosity and activity, like physical activity. Like you really want to be active. You want everything is curious about you, easily involved in some situations. So and at the same time, you're very gentle. It's a there is nothing like it's not like brutal man. You're active man, but it's the same as gentle. And I believe that man very gentle, because if you are gentle inside, you can recognize this gentleness around you, and this is very important for man skill to acquire. I highly recommend that to be a little bit gentle. So what else? You recognize very well conflict, but they take a lot of time for you to resolve them, and even more time to forget about them.
Yes.
Remember them like, oh my gosh, I invested so much energy in resolving those conflicts. So it could be exhausting when you remember them. So for this, you see how bold all these connections, like when you're around it, you really invest your time and energy. So to train your brain how to not forget, but how to more concentrate on connection. You can create bolder lines between those conflicts, between those intersections. So it may help you to really integrate it. Very well balanced. Like there's many roots, many all connections to. I believe you very active in society because like maybe many friends, because it's easy for you to connect somehow.
Yes.
Maybe because you interact so much with people, you have so much conflict in your life, which is beautiful. You master the skill. It will be very important for you. What else? I'm looking if there is any. There is no isolation. There is no. There will still be some. I believe there's. You're still working on this work. Yes, on the drawing. So field lines. Make sure that you really in tune to the universe. That you really know what you're doing and where you're going. And it's interesting how this king is really like a, not like a snake, but like a road that leading you somewhere. It's very interesting. We'll be to see how it will be at the end. So thanks a lot. I'm welcome to the club. So okay, so Derek and I will answer. So this I will answer to you. Okay, busy mind, like really busy mind. So, welcome back. So I'm glad you're here again. I don't know what kind of topic is this, but you are thinking too much about it. Like you see, even in your drawing, I can see the shape of your brain. Like there is a significant shape of the brain, and it's overwhelmed right now. You need to release this. You stuck in those minds, and they looping. Like you losing so much energy in this trying to resolve this. Expand more lines to sides. I love how grounded you are here. It could be even more because you still for you in such a busy mind. Breathing exercises are very important. You start with something simple. Just start, observe your breathing without forcing, without changing anything. Just observe. See how you breathe, how you feel, like where this oxygen is going in your body. And when you will feel comfortable, you may start navigate the oxygen. Okay, so I feel I have a stuckness of emotions here, how I can move it there. So it will help you to be more connected with the body and not so much in your mind. Because do you have some headaches or some discomfort?
Yeah, usually I've been experiencing yoga because I've been having some like discomfort in my hips and legs and back.
Because it's just like so much going on right now. You're trying to resolve too many things at the same time.
Okay.
And it's see how beautiful, very powerful purple flow you have. It's and it goes like from one side and it goes from from another side, and somehow there is so much going on in your brain that it doesn't even go there. Like, I believe you can be a very spiritual person, but the mind is really what distracts this flow. Like, how to calm you down your brain. Like, maybe catharsis is like more and more will help you to release the busyness of your mind. Very intellectual, like very much yellow. See, in the middle, you color everything, but there are some areas in your mind that are still be white. White is usually represent unknown. Maybe you don't know some simple information that makes everything like the puzzle will fit, and like everything like, oh, this really makes sense a lot, and it somehow may release this situation. See what kind of color you want to color. If you want to color this, the two segments of white that still be not colored there. So there is some gray or almost black colors in your mind, in surroundings of your shape. Like, I call it mine because it's like, for me it's very clear that it looks like mine, but it maybe resonates with you something different. Even if, like, actually if I look a different way, it may look like heart. So this dark spots, see how they really concentrated and isolated. Again, release this color, make sure this energy. You could be very critic about yourself, and the critique is leading to fears and limitations. So let them, like, by drop go away, washed away. So like, allow this color maybe even expand it, but at least it will be movement. There will be no stuckness there. Don't try to suppress them, because there is a lot of, if it's fears, there is a lot of wisdom that the fears try to teach you. And if it's a critique, see if you want to structure it somehow, give the structure and really meaning to it, like how you can do it. Because you see how much yellow, you're very intellectual guy, spiritual, intellectual, and busy mind.
Yes.
So continued work. I love how much more lines you have on the ground. Like, really, there is a lot of, and keep breathing. Keep breathing. It's a very important for you. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so let me see. I had one question: how to break patterns? So at the beginning of the class, the easiest way to break patterns, I will just repeat one more time, that if learn how to draw the neurolines, how to use it, like when you have a pattern, like, and see if where do you want to go next? Like, if you see that you're going in a sinusoid, okay, so where should I change? Maybe consciously changing it, maybe here, maybe there. So like, really unpredictable movement, and something happens with my focus. Wait, let me turn. I learned the trick. This is, by the way, my carving, the picture of my carving. Okay, so another option with a penny, and I just follow, see where does it move me. This is really creates unusual patterns, and it's because we already gave this meaning, and it's really gives me to train my brain how to be unpredictable, how to be changing my behavior and have fun with it. Like, it's not like oh my gosh, I repeat myself, I have to be stressed about it, and like I need to change something. Like, you can be enjoying it like a game. Okay, so what's new I'm going to do? How I will surprise myself. Maybe you want to surprise somebody else in your life. This is a really exciting experiment. Okay, I hope I answered your question. I don't have to keep it. Okay, just there is a guide we can access to help us interpret the basics. So the interpretation of basics is really based on experience. You just learn how to do it more and more and see, like you need to pay attention, like if there is anything isolated in the middle, if there is any lines around that are balanced or not, and how do you feel about it? Like it doesn't matter about my interpretation, but how do you feel about the process, about how what you really learn, what you really experience, your body resonates, your emotions. So all this is very important. And you can give your own interpretation about the colors and emotions. Like some of them we will really teach. It's a part of the different courses that will be offered. So join. We will explain even more in the courses, and the group and classes are available on YouTube already give some understanding. So it's some practicing. Let me ask, like, read some more questions. Yes. Yes, I believe it's an awesome technique, and it's a huge potential because it's there is anything in our lives can be drawn, anything can be expressed through simple shapes, and when we can look at this like business concepts, spiritual concepts, relationships, your health, everything can be presented on paper, and how you can not just look at this, but how you can transform it. You transform it on paper, but because we have mirror neurons, it resonates in our body, and we adjust and adapt ourselves to new concepts, new symbols, to new meanings. Does the marathon on Facebook happen live? Debra, right now it's already over. We started on June 29. It was 21 days, and on YouTube you can see all the recordings of my drawings. And Facebook group, there are some pictures of other people. Like I highly recommend, because it's so beautiful to share your drawings and be part of the group. It's a very kind and very supportive group, international one. So you can do your marathons, like, and all the conditions are in the group. You can do like search for marathon 21, and it will be a lot of information. The beginning video and ending video, and you can just do your own marathon. You don't have to be with anybody else, but be with yourself and give the gift to yourself. What are the new upcoming courses of yours we can join? So right now in August we have the course basic user level. It's a certificate. You will receive 8 hours and maybe 1 extra hour. We're still deciding like how we can rearrange it, because right now it's 4 classes, 2 hours each, 8 hours. But I believe that we will do some adjustments and do some extra hour just as a recorded video for you. You will receive a certificate from Moscow Institute Psychology of Creativity. So if you ever dreamed for the certificate from the Moscow, this is an opportunity to be part of it. What else? There will be more courses. There will be right now we have still be preparing for the big launch for the course that you can use Neurographica with your clients. There will be some courses related to the colors, how to give interpretation of the colors, and how to use them consciously to transform your feelings. And other many courses. You've seen the course that I was worried right now is just a teeny bit, but there is a lot of offerings that we will do. Like there is only 24 hours a day, so, but there is already so much you can use and start your transformation. See how you retune. So the basic course would be the best option because it's a prerequisite for anything else, and it's you need to learn basics very well before you can move forward. It's a very important requirement, so for me and for you. Okay, so thanks for questions. Like, thank you for your drawings. It's a very active interaction. This class was so much fun, and I wish you good night, because I know that some of you at the evening, and I hope to see some of you on other classes, or maybe repeat the same class and join the class, join the group, join the YouTube channel. There is so much to share. Like, we are quite generous, like me and my partners, and we are like really trying to build up the community, to build up the creative community, and be able to share emotions through the art and feel comfortable about sharing them, because it's very important to feel connected. So thanks a lot. See you hopefully soon, and have a great time. Keep drawing. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
everyone.